let me down. Let me down.
You ever think about trading stocks? I mean, you can now, of course. There's always been a cost, usually up to $10 for every single trade. That adds up. No way around it for people like you and me. Until now. Robinhood lets you trade stocks with zero commission. That's right, commission free. Let me show you how this works because you might not believe me. Couldn't be easier to make a trade using the Robinhood app. 3 taps. I just bought some stock. Zero commission, not up to $10. How do they do this? Well, other brokers have brick and mortar stores. They spend millions on Super Bowl ads. Robinhood doesn't, and the savings are passed on to you. It's simple, it's fast, and it works. You'll get real-time market data streaming to your phone when you need to know what you need to know to make an informed trade decision. Even notifications when important stuff happens. Up and make your first trade. It's commission free. People like us can trade just like the big guys. With Robinhood.
Once you're inside the app, the way that the free stock thing works is just if you refer someone to Robinhood using your special link, then you get a free stock and they get a free stock, so it's just kind of a win-win. And I did leave my referral link in the description, so if you guys want to use that, then you can get a stock and I can get a stock. But really, if you've got friends that are already using Robinhood, just use their referral link because then you guys can both benefit from it. And the cool thing is once you're signed up, then you can do the same thing. So I've got a free stock here for inviting Samuel, so thank you, Samuel. This is how it works. You just claim the free stock, and you're going to choose one of these 3 question marks, just like a stupid Las Vegas thing. And then you scratch it out, and we'll see. So it looks like I got Sprint, which is worth $5.71. And honestly, I have never gotten anything over $10. But that's my luck. I have had some guys in the comments tell me that they've got shares that are worth over $100, so maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones, but I haven't been so far. And then before I get into all the research stuff, I do want to let you know that with the free shares, you can't actually sell those stocks for 3 full trading days. So just keep that in mind. And then if you ever do want to get your cash for them, you have to wait a full 30 days. And those are the full rules for that kind of stuff. So if you do get a free share, just keep in mind that those are the 2 rules with them, but that's about it. So as far as searching, let's do that right now. I'm just going to look for Pepsi because I know that I don't own them, and I'll show you guys how to do some quick research on Robinhood. So you can just type in Pepsi if you don't know the ticker symbol, and you'll be able to find it. So right here, PepsiCo, PEP is the ticker. Let's go into that, and it looks like they are trading at 127.09. Right now the market's closed, so you're not going to see any fluctuation. So anyways, 127.09 is what they're at per share. This is just looking at a 1-day graph by default, so let's move it over to a 5-year. This is as far as we can go on Robinhood, which honestly is good, but I wish that they could go back further. And I would even say 10 years would be good, but lifetime is really good as well. So we're going to look at Pepsi over the last 5 years, and just by looking at this graph on a very basic amount of research, it looks like they are a very healthy company from the looks of this chart. However, it does also look like they're probably overvalued, just like the rest of the stock market. That's just how everything is right now. Everything is very expensive. So looking at this 127.09, the whole saying buy low, sell high, you're definitely not doing that right now. You would be buying high. But if you do more research and you just feel like it's just going to keep going up, then go for it. Maybe now's the time to get in, but honestly, I would wait for a correction and then put your cash into a company, but that is just me. So anyways, the stats that Robinhood gives you, if you scroll down just a little bit, you can see some basic stats on the last 52 weeks.
3 years ago, I was thinking about
day, but really I am just looking at the two on the bottom right, which are the PE ratio and the dividend yield, and this still doesn't give you much information, but it does at least give you something. The PE ratio is the price to earnings ratio, which is basically how much a cost per share is relative to how much money they're actually making. So this is basically saying that a share right now is 14 times more expensive than what they're actually making. And typically I like to have the PE ratio as low as I can get it, but it all depends on the industry that you're looking at too. Because if we checked Coca-Cola and theirs was a 20, then Pepsi would actually be looking better than Coke. But that's how you'd be looking at the PE ratio. And honestly, I just say anything below 15 is probably a little bit better on your side, looking at those kind of numbers. So, and then the dividend yield, this is just how much they're going to be paying you as far as a percentage of the shares per year to own them. So 3.25% is what they are currently paying based on the current numbers. So if you bought a share for 127 bucks, then throughout the year, probably 4 times a year from Pepsi, they are going to pay you a quarter of that 3.25%. And so those are the two numbers that you can look at with Robinhood. And then if you check down here, they'll also have different articles and things you can check on just to see if maybe there's some more information on the type of information that you're. So, and then we've got the analyst ratings. 36% say buy, 60% say hold, 4% say sell. This is as basic as it gets. I wouldn't even look at any of this kind of information, but they do have it there if you want to look at it. They've got their earnings right here based on how everything's looking. You can see the dark gray dots. Those are what we were expecting. And then it looks like we were actually a lot higher than that. So those are quick indicators on the quarterly results to tell you how the company's doing relative to what people thought they were going to be doing. So that's good as well. You keep scrolling down, you can get people also bought, so just making it easier for you to find other companies that people were buying as well as Pepsi. And then it looks like they have little lists of stocks that you can look in. And then they'll have an about PepsiCo, which they're not going to give you much information here. Just a short little snippet of what they do, what they own, how many employees, and all that stuff. And that is as deep as you can go on Robinhood. And honestly, search stocks more than that, you're going to have to check a lot more resources so that you can learn a lot more about it. But start with Yahoo Finance, and you can also go to the investor relations pages on the actual websites anyway, directly to the companies themselves, or you can go to Yahoo Finance, and that's what I would recommend you do. So anyways, let me show you now how to buy and sell a stock on Robinhood, and this is so easy. Let's buy Pepsi right now for $127.09. So buy right down here on the bottom right, and we're going to say 1 share. So I actually know how much money I have in my account. If you look up at the top, it says $33.83 available, and that is because that's how much cash I have available. And the reason I'm doing this with a more expensive share is because I want to show you what's going to happen. As soon as I hit review, it is going to have a pop-up come up and say, I don't have enough money. But it says you can deposit $99.61 and you can make this deal happen. Now the cool thing is that Robinhood by default will let you instant deposit money up to $1,000 so that you don't actually have to wait for it to get into your account, because typically it's going to take 3 days just to get the money into your account. So if you want to trade some stock really quickly and you want to make it, you can up to $1,000, and then if you do the Robinhood Gold thing for $5 a month, then you can actually up that all the way up to 50 grand.
Do you see all these products? All these products?
Actual assets. So that's how that works. It's telling me right now that I need $99.61 to make this happen, and I don't want to do that right now because I'm not actually going to make this happen. But let's go into another company and show you how this works. Or you know what, actually we can just do the same thing here. Let's pretend that I did want to buy 1 share of Pepsi for $127.09. That is the market price, keep in mind. And a better way to do this is if you look up at the top right, there are these order types. Click that. I wish that they made it more conspicuous, but they don't. So click this right here, and you've got your different types of orders that you can set, which are a lot better than just buying things at market price. So the one that I like to do is called a limit, and what this does is it makes it so you just set a maximum of what you want to buy the share at, and that's what it'll buy it at. So it's trading at 127. let's say that it was moving quite a bit during the day. You could set that to 125, and if you feel confident that it'll move to that amount within the day, then you can get it for 125. And the cool thing is about that is that if you're buying a lot, then that can actually save you some money. And if it doesn't hit the number, then oh well, try again the next day, I suppose. But let's do 120. Okay, I know that's not going to hit 120 today for sure, or tomorrow, but we're going to continue, and we're going to say market hours only. And here's the cool thing, we can do this through the next trading day. That's good through 2 p.m. Eastern time, or you can actually set a 90-day period, so you can actually keep that limit. Then it will automatically buy however many you told it to at that price, and that will hold it for 90 days. So it's almost like you can let it automate for you and make it a lot easier to do this kind of stuff. So that's how you do it. At this point, you just hit continue, and then you'd say execute. So now I'll just hit review, and you guys can see for yourself. I have to put in 86.17 to make this happen, and I'm not going to do that because I don't actually want to do this right now. But that is how you would buy a share. And if you do have enough money in your account, obviously the warning won't pop up, and you can execute the order, and that is how it works. Now, as selling a share goes, it is the exact same thing. So let's go into something that I own here. I know that I own some Ford shares. So let's go into Ford. F is the ticker symbol. Okay, so if I own some, it's going to say trade. Looks like I own 5 shares of Ford. By the way, it has been like the lousiest, most boring stock ever. I've owned them for like 3 years and I haven't seen anything happen with them. Look at this 5-year track record. It is just, in my opinion, I don't really have any worries about the company themselves, but it's definitely just a downtrend. Anyways, let's see. So we're going to trade some shares of Ford. We just hit trade, and in this case we want to sell. And let's say that we want to sell 2, because I know that I have 5, and it tells me right up at the top how many I have. I have 5 shares available. Market price $9.48. If you're happy with that, go for it. Otherwise, you can do a limit order just like I did earlier, and you can set a limit for it, all that fancy stuff, and that makes it a lot better. So anyways, that's how you do it. And you just hit review, and then right here where it says swipe up to submit, boom, as soon as I swipe up, it executes and it is over with. And keep in mind that if you do set limit orders, you can cancel them at any time you want. You're not locked into anything. But if you do buy something at market price and the market's open, then you are definitely things happen very quickly and you can't get out of it. But you can cancel the other kind of stuff. Anyways, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I do have a